Hello and welcome back to the Alder campaign. I'm your host and GM Nineveh, and with me are Kathea and Sionnarios.
Hello, this is Kathea.
And this is Sionnarios.
Awesome, good work. This is episode 14. Yeah, session 13. So there we go. So last time we went through the rest of the fair and Sacred Time, and you guys were going to kind of move into sea season after that. So what are each of you planning on doing for the first 3-4 weeks of the season? The season is 8 weeks long.
My assumption from last time was that Sionnarios had to meet a guy who was going to come visit her. And while she was doing that, I was going to lead some of our get what background we could on the wyverns and our options afterwards, if that is okay.
Absolutely.
Sionnarios.
Yeah, I would host Harvard Light Fist. I think that's the one that's coming out.
Oh,
the one? Do you have more than one?
Possibly.
Good.
Unless you want me, I don't really need to be there for that.
Nope, not at all.
Because I might decide to start hating him.
That's what you do.
Know. That's my thing.
Very dangerous. Okay. So, yep. All right. So, Kathea, you're planning on going to Alder. Who are you taking with you?
Well, I'm definitely taking Mardina, and I'm taking Elendor because, well, we can't go anywhere without Elendor. Who else should I take, Sionnarios? Or, I mean, it could just be the three of us. I kind of feel like I owe our wonderful Armali, but I don't know if that would be worth the risk.
Well, you're only taking him to Alder. You're not taking him, out in the wilds with wyverns.
Yeah, but that might solve itself if we're in the wild with wyverns.
Hey, he helped you.
I know he did. He did. That's kind of why I feel like I owe taking him to town, but I don't want to be in charge of him when he does whatever he does.
Well, that's the risk.
I know. That's why I was debating whether I wanted to take him or not. And I can't really think of anybody else I would take. Our cohort's down by one. I don't really have a reason to take Dirtast. I don't really have a reason to take Art Cora, who would maybe get us in trouble anyways. Seems like maybe outside of town's better for him.
Yes.
Well, you could take, if Nin's okay with it, you could take Courtship, my younger brother.
Sure. We'll take Cora. In fact, we should move him up into our little cohort thing, I think. At some point.
Did I not?
We could leave him in charge of Yenor.
Spiritually, that makes sense. Realistically, that will turn out horribly.
Yep. Oh, let's do it. I'll take all four of them. That will make it more of an interesting trip than it otherwise would be or would need to be. If we have anybody headed there to do trade or something like that, I'd travel with them. But if it's not, we're only like 2 days travel away.
Yeah, it's
I hadn't thought about it.
Are you taking Yenor?
Oh. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, when you say it that way, it makes me question my judgment on that.
No, I added him to the list and I put a little smiley face next to him. So it's too late.
Yeah, Mardina, Elendor, Yenor, and Courtship. I never thought about the fact that just traveling with me, since I'm a Thane, probably makes people feel like they're safe.
You do have that effect on people.
It's awful.
Sometimes.
I have a lot of... No, I was just thinking, though, that's kind of funny. We always think, we're beginning characters. We aren't that powerful. And I thought, compared to the average person in the clan, I probably look like a pretty competent warrior.
Yeah, you've got all the markings. So, and with your helmet on, it's hard to tell how young you are.
That's true. So I will go do that, and I don't care which order we do it in, and I will let Sionnarios receive her suitor.
Okay.
Or potential suitor, or whatever that is.
Suitor's correct. They are courting, but it's been a slow dance.
All right. Has there even been a dance so far?
They haven't actually danced together, no. But listen, he's a very polite man, okay? Like, he's not going to rush things like some silly Orlanthe boy, like
my brother.
Yeah.
You're going to end up with a really uptight husband, aren't you?
We'll find out.
She's got options.
Anyhow. Yeah.
Some of them aren't even on the board yet.
Oh, no.
Maybe something will come up in Alder while we're there. Afterwards, I mean, when you were there. Not now.
Okay. So you'll head out, Kathea. You'll take your little merry band with you. So Courtship, we're going to call him Corum for the most part. That's his nickname. Yes. Corum.
That's one of those names that was better when we're just copying and pasting names rather than having to speak them all the time.
Yes, it was better in the email campaign for sure. But so we'll call him Corum. He is, as described, he is 1 year younger than you, roughly. He has just gone through his adulthood rites. He is a noble, a young nobleman, just like your cousin. It's
So he
be
technically
interesting to see if he
outranks me,
holds
huh?
on to it. Technically, but it's not that simple, right? Because you're a Thane.
Yeah.
So it's more. I would say no, really. Like he doesn't really
Right.
outrank you. He has more.
Right.
In theory, he would have more people under him than you, but that's not the same.
Mhm.
So, in any event, he's young, he's eager. He's got light blonde hair that's pretty like messy. It always looks like windswept and kind of tousled. And he's got like, a nice cloak, a nice axe, a shield, couple of javelins. Like he's just a young Orlanthi.
Who does? Is he an Orlanthi? Is he initiated
Yes.
into Orlanth specifically? Okay.
Yes, most men are still here. And of note, like Orlanth Courtship is not outlawed in Aldershire. It's not actually outlawed in Sarder either yet. So like, you could, as the High Holy Day showed, you still go to ceremonies and things. Like Orlanth is still allowed to be worshipped.
Right. No, I know that. I just knew we had a large Yomelian contingent in our clan too, so or a decent sized one, anyways.
Yeah, you have a larger than maybe average, and definitely more than in Sarder. But yeah, so he's he's very eager to go. He's grown up on stories of his just even the last couple of years, right? Like his
right.
One of his uncles ran off and got adventuring, got a wife and all this stuff. He has like a cousin, like Kathea, literally, who's like a war leader, and his older sister is like running around having adventures. So he's like ready to get in on this. Yeah, he's excited to go. I'm just gonna put a little exclamation point next to him for no reason. And
because he's very excited.
Oh yeah, he's ready to go.
He's gonna get us in a fight that we don't need to be in.
No, he's
Maybe
just gonna get killed
by
by the
problem
wyvern,
and
wyvern
not
burst. Like once you go wyvern hunting, he's just gonna die immediately.
I'll feel guilt.
Like that plucky young rookie who's all excited.
I'll feel guilt.
Like
as a replacement. I'll feel guilty about that. My character's carrying a lot of guilt for a PC already.
I know. It's refreshing, really. You're so frequently just a weird
Not
little
for
sociopath.
Me,
like so
who is? PCs?
You
or me?
Your PCs.
I've run one sociopathic character in one game.
I would contest that, but okay. In any event, yeah, so your 4 will go with you. You form a little 5-man band. And Yenor comes along. He's happy to go. He doesn't seem to understand why you would invite him.
Well, if he doesn't want to go,
he'll definitely
I won't take him. But I just thought.
So
I felt like what?
So he'll definitely go, but he doesn't really.
Nope. Okay, let's take him.
Cool.
I think he might be able to suss out information that other people wouldn't be able to get. Something like that. I'm rationalizing
that's fair.
now.
Yeah, that's sensible. Okay, so you'll head out. It takes about 2 days to get there. This is early sea season, so the Alda, the river that you're following, is swelling pretty substantially by the time you get there. It's not at its highest point yet, but you can tell like it's fast flowing. It's getting plenty of like melt and rainwater. It's going to drizzle off and on while you're traveling. Say what?
Is there a bridge over it?
At Aldershire there is.
So we could stay on the south side all the way there if we needed to, or travel along. Or where we come from, we could easily go to either side.
Right, you can make that choice for yourselves. Yeah.
Let's pick the north side because we know it. We grew up here.
Makes sense. So yeah, so you're able to, like you can see that the river is high. It's obviously very fast flowing right now too. Yeah, it's moving, and it will grow over most of sea season. It'll get more so, and then it'll fall off quite a bit in fire season.
Okay.
So yeah, so you see that. Obviously, you have the same sort of clan interactions that you always have. There's a little shrine to the river at its headwater.
I will. As we move through these, I would attempt to see, if I can, what any of these know about this wyvern down there, if anything.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
But I realize we might be. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I'm thinking
Like you're gonna run.
probably more when we get to I'm sorry. I was thinking more when we get to Vantoros than our own clans, but either way.
Absolutely. I mean, you can. I mean, even if you're riding, you can check in here and just ask people if they've noticed anything unusual, right? I mean, that's not
Yeah.
like a weird question to ask. So these people will tell you. You can roll intrigue here, just as a intrigue's not really appropriate. Go ahead if you have a suggestion.
It's orate in this. It's orate in this case.
Yeah, you can
I'm
roll
trying
that.
to get somebody to. Can I try to supplement that with my tribal loyalty connections? Since I'm in the tribe and known, I succeed. I get a normal success in the tribal one. Is that a plus 20?
Okay. 20.
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, plus 20.
And then I do get a success. I didn't even need it. I do get a success on
Okay.
my orate.
Cool. All right.
So I convince them that they should just share whatever they want. You know, that I'm trying just to convince them to share a little more than they normally would about anything going on.
Right. Okay. So you're gonna meet. You know, we'll have this kind of stand in for during your travels, basically. So Zerdavos and even into Vantaros lands. The Zerdavos have not noticed anything, right? Or at least they don't know about anything. Like there have been,
Right.
like they mentioned, you know, the usual, right? Like a few animals have gone missing, but that's not uncommon in winter. Like all predators get more ambitious, and you know the weather is more extreme, so it's not unusual to lose a couple of animals. The Vantaros, though, as you get in deeper, closer to Aldature, like they have noticed some disappearances, so they thought were strange.
I actually asked both places if they noticed anything unusual about the tracks of the predator.
Right. Again, like there's Zerdavos, not so much. The Vantaros have kind of noticed like animals just go away, like they just vanish. You know, there's no carcass.
Do they have their own theory on why it is?
They think it's maybe chaos, right? Or maybe a wyvern, or maybe a dream dragon, right? That's an option. Something like that. They're not really sure what's going on yet. They just know something bad is happening.
Are they're not aware that the wyverns exist? They haven't actually seen them or anything.
No, nobody that you talk to has actually seen them.
Okay. That's all I wanted. Anything else that pops up in any of that?
Not too much. It's been fairly quiet. So I mean, sea season is kind of like everybody's just getting out of bad weather, right, and kind of starting to move around. So there hasn't been too much going on.
Or if there's any word that's come from Aldature that would be helpful before I get there.
That's a good question, but not really. There's nothing crazy going on in the city.
That's not surprising, but just figured the people in the area outside that are part of my culture and clan would be likely to tell me if there was something different there.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense to ask.
I'm ready to head into Aldature unless you have something.
Nope, we're good. Okay, so you pop into Aldature. Of interest, so the river is fairly wide right now and fast, so it's loud as well. You do see a party of horsemen traveling north on the south side of the river. At one point, about a day, like about halfway through your travel. So they would wave to you since they recognize you. So
are they locals?
Nah, they're like Harver and his Yomelians are riding out to your town.
Oh, they're going
you're on the other side of the river. Yeah, you're just on the other side of the river from them, so you like see them, but you can't really talk or anything because of the.
It would have been interesting if we'd run into them in transit,
right? Yeah, I chose a side for them, and you chose a side, and they didn't line up. So
I say, did you choose a side for them, or did you choose them just to be on the opposite side I was on?
No, I chose them to be on the south side. I was like, they'll ride out over the bridge and look cool, and then take the road out of the ways where it touches the river at the farthest point, and then go. So
makes sense. We will wave to them.
Cool.
I don't think I'm the one that had. I don't think I'm the one that had any misgivings about them. I think that was the conversation that Sionnarios had with mother or grandma. Yeah.
Mother. Yeah. Yeah, you're cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you ride on.
Go ahead. Okay. I keep talking over you.
No, it's okay. We can't see each other, so it's kind of hard to tell. In any event, you ride on to Aldature. It's early sea season, right? It's been raining off and on. So the nice thing about this is that the walls are really at their most impressive at this time because they're wet, right? So they gleam more brightly and they're
Oh,
clear
yeah.
with the rain. So you get more of that
Ooh,
glass
cool.
effect in sea season. Whereas by like fire season, they
Neat.
just look like dusty bricks. Like,
Yep. Well,
cool. So
I think the
you can ride
first
into
thing we will
town.
do is we'll go find lodging at our family's. We have that location in town where we can stay.
Yes.
Set it up as
so you
home
go
base. Introduce all the people I brought with me because 2 of them haven't been here before. To our hosts there, I don't remember if we ever gave them names or not, but anyhow, whoever holds that house that we stay at.
Yeah, there's a thing there. So roll perception for me, real quick.
Okay. I'm
I think that's the right
almost
thing, right?
positive I got
I say perception,
scan
I
or
mean
search
scan or something,
or
right? Like, yeah.
that's okay. Yes, I actually I've got a 60% scan.
Okay.
What's 20% of that? 12? Nope, I did not get a special.
Nope, just a success.
Yeah, I rolled a 14, so that would have worked if I had
cool.
70%.
Good news. When you make it into the hall that you're going to stay at, you still have Yenor with you.
Success.
I told Yenor to stay with us, and I will give him instructions on when he's allowed to leave and not leave. If he doesn't
Yes, and you
listen
kept
to
a
me,
sharp
this,
enough eye out that
this
he
is
didn't
going to
manage
be.
to slip away.
I'm going to mention to him here that this will be his one and only trip here if he causes me any problem.
He nods. He's obedient. He's
So,
chastised.
I want to sit down with my group
Mhm.
and talk to them.
Mhm.
So obviously Mardina we're mostly here for her to do research. And I have 2 things I want her to research. The primary one is, of course, Odd and the Wyvern. So I want to know anything she can find out that give us an edge in taking the Wyvern down. And I would like to know her to get anything she can about how we can use parts of the Wyvern for various things, salvage it, basically butcher it, and also how to preserve the eggs afterwards and make sure we keep them alive. And finally, if she can get anything that I don't know if she can get us anything, but if she might be able to find something on what was I headed for? Oh, values. And I'm planning on staying here a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks. So I hope she has time to do all that. And if she has time for more, I actually have another thing I want her to research at some point, but we'll come back
So
if we
I'm
need
going to tell you, the library has a few hundred scrolls and books and things in it. She has time for this.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. Like, so you can add something to that if you want.
Okay. My addition is going to be anything she can find on unicorns and such. I realize I can go through my own cult for that, but I also thought I will pull on my family's resources.
Right. Makes sense. Okay. Yeah, she's happy to do that. She likes looking at stuff.
Again, anything that gives me aid. That's what I figured. I figured she'd enjoy all that. So I think, would she want anybody with her day to day to help, or would she be better off just getting an escort to and from the hall? I know she's probably safe in town, but we might as well. We got 3 warriors here. We might as well walk her back and forth.
Having someone walk her there is fine, but no one. I mean, I don't think anyone
else can read.
Is literate.
Yeah,
that you know at least, and so
no.
Well, that's not necessarily fair.
I don't think any of us are, but maybe one of us is. I don't know how common that is either.
It's not super common, but it's not. Corum tip can read. Corum can read and write a little bit.
I'm not going to force him to spend the whole time helping her.
Right.
But
he would rather not.
I'll have him spend. I will have him spend some of the time helping her because I think it would do him good to do a little bit of the research and learn how to look into things before you get to them. Right. And I will point out to him, I will entice him with this, that I'm intending to go after this wyvern, and he probably should know everything he could about it before we go, if he thinks that he would like to go with us.
Okay,
A little bit
sensible.
of a carrot dangle out there, but I also want to make sure he's got half the time. I want him to have time to wander around town and see the town and visit and stuff. And
Okay, yeah, so he'll help with that.
I'll make sure I'm gonna make sure him, Eunor, and Elendor understand what we're going on after. And we want to pick up who our trading contact for the Lunars would be. If it would be directly with somebody there, or if we have somebody through our clan or tribe. And also, if there's anybody else important or interesting going on in town. If not, I mean, we can pretty much fast track most of this, which is assume what we're going to do. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
would obviously
town's
ask about all that.
for sure. So town is fairly quiet, right? There's always stuff going on, right? Like there's people here. It's the second largest city in Sarter.
Right.
It has, a market. It has temples. It's the seat of the tribal confederation. It's also the seat of the Ventaros tribe, right? So like there's always stuff happening, but there's nothing like crazy happening. If that makes sense. Like there's not any unexpected events going on. It's just the usual stuff. As far as it goes. So there's things to do. I mean, you can go to the market, you can go to temples, you can talk to people, but there's nothing like wild happening. The biggest thing going on is that the Lunars are still building their garrison, like their bastion, and that's a big work. But it is starting to come together. It's starting to look more like an actual fortress. So the big things for you are that I'll have Mardina make a roll here real quick. See how she does. Mardina, I expect better of you.
Well, come on, yeah. She rolled an 01 or something like that, I'm sure.
All right, sure. Okay, so she does the first part of this about like anything that can give you a combat edge, and she looks around. There's like not like a helpful manual entitled like on the killing of wyverns or something. So
Right.
she gets basic like wyverns are, dragon things. They're descended from dream dragons. They have wings and sharp claws and big teeth, and they have a venomous stinger, poisonous stinger at the end of their tail that can kill a man. They are tough and fast in the air. They usually like mate in like bonded pairs, so you would expect two of them at this nest, not
Right.
one. And otherwise, I mean, you kill them with the like judicious application of violence, right? Like there's not like a secret like if you hit them between the third and fourth vertebrae, they go down, as far as you know. So she gives you some of that, and like they're easier to fight on the ground because they're less mobile.
I'm
Like
guessing that most of what I'm getting out of her is that now my character knows the stuff I know, having read the
Probably.
monster description 10 years
right,
ago.
yes.
They're animal intelligence, right?
Yes, they can be intelligent hunters for animals, right? Though they usually don't need to
Right.
be. They're big enough that they can just take what they want, so they're not usually super
Mhm.
cunning, but they can be, like one goes high, one goes low, or one goes left, one goes right, sort of fighters. They don't tend to live in larger groups than two, right? Like so you usually have a mated pair and they're young.
Right.
That's usually what you get out of them. So you're probably not looking at less than two.
Okay.
You're probably also not looking at more than two.
Okay.
So she can give you that pretty easily. That doesn't take long to find out. It takes her, a day or two to really be like, I think that's about all there is to know. Next one, she succeeds at your more important request, though. Frankly, I am doing these
Unicorn
in order.
quest.
No, that's the least important one.
Oh, the value.
Yeah. So here are some things that she knows. Okay, so one, like, here's what she finds out. So Mardina
I assume so.
does some looking around in catalogs. Mardina is able. She's not. So one thing that Link Your My temples provide as a service is the evaluation of goods, right? Like
Right.
that's a thing that they do. So she's able to find some ledgers that are pricing lists, and a few of them
Okay.
have some ideas. They're old, right? And so they might not be accurate, but they at least give you a ballpark of like what's valuable. And then she's able to kind of put some obvious dots together. So the most obvious thing about wyverns, right, is that they have that stinger on the end with the big old venom sac on the end of it, like inside it. That's really valuable. there's a lot of it because the animal's very large. Anti-venens for it can be made. John Ori can make them, and they would be interested in it. Like if you could get them a bunch of wyvern venom that they could use to make cures for wyvern venom, they would want that quite a bit, and it would be very valuable, like large sums of money. Probably more money than they could just give you would be her
That's
impression.
fine.
It would be like a credit
We
sort of
could-
situation. She says the same thing
we
about the
could work
Linker My
something out.
Temple, though. Like the Linker My Temple, she kind of lets you know, some of us are alchemists. Not me, but some of us do alchemy. And so wyvern venom would have obvious, if not uses, and at
Okay.
least like
So either of those.
potential to explore.
So
Yeah,
both
either
of those
would
cults
want
would be
venom.
places where we do. Okay.
Yeah. Other things, right? Like obviously there's value in their claws and teeth, right? People like those sorts of things to make knives or decorations out of. Their hide is tough but flexible, scaled. It can be used to make armor. Outside of that, it's meat and bone. It's not intrinsically valuable. Beyond that,
Is the meat worth anything? So anybody's got a thing for exotic wyvern meat? It's a predator.
That's not something she would be able to derive from this. It maybe. I mean, there's a geos in Aldature, right? Is that right?
I don't know.
Oh man,
There's trolls here, aren't there?
That doesn't count.
Troll friends.
oh yep, there is.
Wait,
I was right.
anything.
There is. There's a geos in Aldature. They might be interested in
Okay.
some of it. It's definitely not something where you're like gonna haul 2 whole wyverns back to Aldature and make money on it. But you could maybe sell like a haunch or some
I was
steaks
trying to
or
decide if
something,
I was going to go out and I was thinking about this. Well, I wasn't sure how as far away is it. I guess we're not that far, so we could haul quite a bit back. I also debated whether it was worth buying some salt and or hauling a wagon of wood down so that we could smoke meat.
Probably not.
I'm assuming we know how to do those things, but it's not really what I was thinking about primarily. I just wanted to ask while we were going. I was really not assuming a lot, but I thought, well, you don't want to overlook anything.
Right. It's yeah, you might be able to sell like some meat, but it's probably not worth it to try and preserve both animals. Especially because again, it's predator meat, also reptilian meat, which can be a little dicey sometimes.
Yep.
The big values would be the skin, claws and teeth, and the stingers with the venom sacs, and those are, and then
And
the
then
eggs, of course, would be really valuable. Okay, Mardina has no idea how much
we
those
figure
are
out-
worth. She would assume lots, but there's no records of
Right.
sales for them. The best way to take care of them would be to in her opinion, like just from like reading, like on like not wyvern eggs specifically, but reptile eggs, would be to like heat some sand up, put it in a large container, and then pack them into it, and just try to keep it warm.
Yep. Like
That's
some
that would be
crates or
her.
something. We need a wagon.
Yeah, you kind of need a cart or something at this point. That would be her best guess for
I can't
that. And that's
afford one.
something, the sun might prove adequate if it's sunny out. But yeah, those are kind of the options there. And lastly, she doesn't find out anything useful about unicorns that you don't already know. So they exist. They're rare in the material world. They're always male. Physical descriptions associated with the Lornans. They don't have like a good detailed record. No one has seen a unicorn. She doesn't know this. I'll give you this. No one has seen a living unicorn in Dragon Pass outside of the Cult of Yolorna, like outside of the ones you guys have summoned, like created through Hero Quest, since like the first stage.
Okay. Well, I'm not surprised by that. I just thought it was worth a shot while we were here.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, so she spends some time on that and does this sort of thing. One thing that you're getting as you're going along is that she's kind of pointing you at like, here is a person who might be interested in these things. So like she tells you like,
Thank you.
The Chalana Ori Temple would be interested in buying these sorts of things. And so you would know, like, the priestess of the Chalana Ori Temple is someone you might go talk to about that. Same thing with Linker My Temple. She can easily put you in contact with, like, its Grey Sage. And she knows...
I want to do... Sorry. I was going to say, that's exactly where I was headed next, was I was going to go meet them and establish our connections.
I suspect I'm lagging a bit because we usually don't step on each other this much. So, and my internet's not behaving very well today. So
yes, I definitely want to want to go visit them now, so we have an established relationship, so we don't have to waste time doing that. Or have wyvern parts hanging around, freshly killed wyvern parts. So I would go to both the Sionnarios and Lankermai temple and have a conversation and meet with them, and then just kind of, I don't want to like make a huge deal. I'd like to find somebody to feel safe with, to describe, hey, we're planning on doing this, we've heard of this, and we just want to make sure we have a connection with somebody when we come back. So I know who to talk to, and make a general connection. Use as a general connection too.
Right. So the most straightforward one to do this at is at the temple of Lankermai first, because you're already there at this point, and Mardina's there. So the Gray Sage who kind of runs the temple is a man named Sharp Seeing Verret.
Sharp Seeing. How do you spell the last name or the actual name?
Vara.
So he's basically the rank. Is he the ranking Lankermai?
Yeah, he runs the temple. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's middle-aged, got like real intelligent, like piercing, like gray eyes. Right, he's kind of that sort of guy. Looks very sharp.
Yep.
Hence the name. And you would have to talk to him a little bit at least, and he's interested. He's not sure you can do it, but he would definitely be willing to purchase.
Okay.
A stinger at least. He's not sure that the temple can actually afford to, and he does explain to you that you're talking about thousands of silvers, not hundreds.
And that's fine. I have no problem working out a long-term deal.
So
because it's good for me, and B, it's not like I really have a lot of choice.
Right, yeah. They can't so the standard offer they would make would be to extend. They would, not that we have to negotiate everything like right at this moment, but their opening offer is like standard for these sorts of amounts is that we would offer it as credit to the temple. So whenever you're in need of services from Lankermai, you would draw on your credit until you had spent it all. So that would include things like casting divine spells on things. So identify, scry, things like that for Lankermai. Teaching you spirit magic spells, doing skill training, doing research for you, training you on skills, doing evaluate type stuff. Some of that Mardina does for you, but some of it she does not. So
okay. I assume we could maybe get some cash out of them, somebody.
You definitely can, like if you ask. But so the next place, the next temple at Sionnarios, which you've also been to, would be a woman named Kana Serene. She's the white lady in attendance there, so she kind of runs things. You've met her probably once before, briefly, and she does live up to her name. She's a very calm person. She like exudes calmness around her. Like things seem to like calm down just around her. She has that kind of quality. Really a similar offer, right? Like the temple can't really afford to just purchase one outright, but temple credit with Sionnarios is valuable, right? Since they can like resurrect or put a limb back on or fix permanent characteristic damage, like stuff like that. So like there's a lot of value in that as well. Okay, so we're gonna leave you now for a little bit to kind of think about next steps, and we'll move over to Sionnarios, who's been very patient for the last half hour-ish. Okay, so Sionnarios. Yes. You're in your village, right? Good. So you are
not too many. I didn't take the names. I left that for Kathea.
Nice. Well done.
Yes, I will be back at Fieldstone and the 3 Hallstead.
That's ours, right?
Okay. So after pretty early in
yours,
you see what? I missed something.
I was just double checking that 3 Hallstead is Sionnarios' actual stead, not the big family one. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yes, it is the hers. Cool. All right. So you see Kathea and her little band off, and that's cool. And they ride off, and then a couple days later, you'll be like one of your cotters who is in town will come to you and tell you, like, you may want to go to town because I've heard that Harvor's riding in.
Well, thank you.
And he's like, no problem, and goes back to doing something diffidently.
Assume that's Brodath.
Hoeing something or planting, probably. Like, hey, yeah, have a good day. I'm gonna go back to like half-assedly planting this crop or whatever I'm doing.
Pro death is a good one.
Yeah, that's fair. You're right. But yeah, so yeah, competent. There you go. Doing his job,
I figured
helping out.
he's the cutter I could have go to town and on his own.
You can be trusted to take a walk by yourself.
No, so I will nonchalantly take my horse and ride it to Fieldstone.
Nice. Okay, cool. So, you're able to arrive there shortly ahead of them, since you were probably like, I should move with a little bit of haste. Whereas Harvard
Yes.
is attended, so he's got like a party like coming in, and they're definitely like riding at like a very like, at least once they get within sight of Fieldstone, they're moving at a very sedate, stately walk, right? And they're all mounted. So he's got a couple of other Templars with them, so other like full Yamelian initiates who are warriors in the cult, and each of those three are attended by like a younger initiate, so like a page or herald or something like that, a helper.
Man, they're riding in style.
They are pretty cool, frankly. They're all wearing white and yellow. They're wearing armor. They have, breastplates and things, so they're not necessarily fully armored. They're carrying weapons on their animals. They look pretty cool, like they look like a fair competent party. So you're like hanging out in town.
Yes, I will wait for him to come into town, I think, because I don't want to, one, rush to him, and two,
Right.
seem too eager, and three, I want to see how he approaches my village, because it's mine, I'm proud of it, but it's not as big as Aldature is.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's a fairly typical Aldature or Tarshite, Dragon Pass level town. It would fit in the marketplace of Aldature.
Yeah, I know.
So
I'm trying to get a read on his personality to make sure. Yeah, I might joke with my cotters, but I'm not. I want to make sure he's not too uppity, even if he's a Yamelian. So
right, no, that makes perfect sense. So roll for me, that dreaded insight human roll to see if you learn anything useful about him.
let's see.
It's basically a coin flip.
Pretty much, with 1% going the other way, my way.
Mhm.
97 is not a success.
It is not, but it's also not a fumble, so you don't draw any bad conclusions. Like you don't, make things worse.
Yeah.
Okay, so you notice the basics, right? His armor's gleaming, his attendants are gleaming. Everybody looks pretty good, right? Like healthy, well dressed. The animals look good, in so much as you can tell these things, and they seem like they look around, right? You can see Harvard survey your town as they approach. He doesn't look like, oh, this is a tiny bumpkin place. He doesn't seem arrogant, but you're not really sure what he makes of it either, if he thinks it's particularly nice or not. So that's kind of what you get from there. When he gets close, he sends his attendant, a younger man, on a horse to ride forward and kind of like announce them, which, he is a rune lord, so he has some, wants people to know I'm, and that's what the attendant basically says. Like, he basically says, Harvard, Light Fist, light son of Yamelio, and Templar of the Sundome Temple, noble of the Vantaros, announces his presence. He and his attendants ride for Fieldstone. And it's pretty clear it's happening at that point. He's pretty close, but he's just letting everyone know I'm coming here, but I'm not coming here to like start a fight, right? Like, or anything. I'm just gonna show up. So
Well, good. I probably let my mother know he's close. She probably knew already with the loom and all that, but whatever. But I might, once he's announced, I might write out.
okay, cool. So you'll meet him just outside the gates, probably. Or did you want to be further? Okay, cool. So yeah, you'll catch him just outside the gates. So you'll kind of like, how do you do this? Do you just walk out, trot out?
Just a simple trot. I'll get in trouble for not knowing the right word I want to do, but yes.
Trot's the second gear.
Yeah, trot's fine.
Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so you kind of trot out. You have like a spirited trot, so that's cool, right? You're kind of, excuse me. You're kind of emphasizing a certain liveliness. I'm sorry. Yeah, so you trot out to meet him and catch him just in front of the gates, just outside of your earthworks and things, and He's happy to see you. Once he sees you and you get close enough to easily read his expression, you got a conversation level. Like he smiles at you and says, "Hell, Sionnarios, I've come to see you," sort of thing. As I promised.
Well, I figured you'd be a man of your word. I'll escort you and your company in.
Oh goodness, cool. So are you? Where are you taking him? Like, do you just ride back to your house with them? You're like, yeah,
No,
let's go.
no,
Okay.
no. I figured the clan hall, maybe.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a good idea. So you guide them kind of like to your clan hall. Do you kind of explain the town as you go? I mean, it's not like a long trip. This isn't a big place, but
There's the clan hall. There's my parents' home. There's Sable for the clan chieftainess.
cool. Okay, yeah, you do that, and he takes it in, and he, nods and asks a clarifying question or two about like, oh, that must be the Earth Temple. This must be the Yolornian Temple I've heard so much about, like stuff like that, And then you ride to the clan hall. By the time you get there, your chieftain is there, so Ara, and she receives him inside. So you would go in with them. So she's interested. She seems roll that human insight roll again. Keep whamming away at that until you get a skill check in it.
Trying different dice. 18.
Okay, that's much better.
Success.
Definitely success. Okay, so Ara's expression, she's pretty well schooled. Like you know her. She keeps a pretty good poker face, but you can tell that she's a little wary when he shows up. She's not sure you can tell she's not sure what his intentions are other than you, and so she's watching him pretty closely. But it's subtle. You're not sure most people would pick up on it.
You said that's the chieftain doing that? Okay.
Yes, but she does greet him too. She says, "Hell, Harbor Life is well met. Honor to you in the temple," etc. Introduces herself, and he gives her a gift while he's here. Like he gives her, what would it be? Like a golden. It's like a golden platter, right? You get a lot of plates. Just to be clear, historically, serving dishes and trays are common goods for these sorts of things because they're put on display. Like everyone sees them when you have communal meals. But yeah, he gives her like a gold platter that has like a sunburst and like Yomelian runes on it. Well, probably just a sunburst. It's not actually Yomelian. So it's pretty, right? It's probably not solid gold. It's probably foiled.
So I'll let them introduce and whoever else comes up, and I assume at some point we'll get a meal, and I'll try to just catch up on what Harper's been up to since last we saw each other.
Right. How long ago was that? First season?
Maybe before we went to the wyverns and the boars.
Yeah, so Earth season, like early Earth season, like it's been a while, 6 months or so, probably in our time, 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you eventually you will kind of settle in, and other clan notables will show up, right? So like some of the Thanes, some of the ring will be here. Your mother's here.
I knew it was going to happen.
Right. So this day is pretty state focused, right? He's meeting with even over the meal, like they talk a lot about what's been going on in the world. How are things going in Aldershire? What's happening here? They're trading information basically. So you do get some of that news, like the garrison, the lunar garrison is nearing completion. It'll be ready this year sometime. There's some talk about, your crops not looking so good, like your omens being bad and things, and some stuff like that. So there's a little bit of that sort of chatter. What's going on in Sarder? Like the Southerners comes up a couple times, but overall, yes, it's sort of a very quasi-formal thing. If there's anything you want to try to pick out from anyone or anything you want to add into this, feel free, by the way.
I'm thinking about him or his buddies, either knowledge or their take on the Lunars. One is anybody who's coming in building something is always concerning, but the other thing is, since I know Kathea's up there, maybe trying to set up a deal, which I don't talk about, I'm just kind of concerned of what are we getting into trying to sell potentially eggs or something to the people building a garrison in our backyard.
Right. Makes sense. That's a good tactic.
Without
Okay,
saying that.
so right.
Intrigue.
Yeah,
Oh,
intrigue is
God.
really the most appropriate role for this. To try and figure out power structures and personalities within a political situation, intrigue is most appropriate. Tell me how you do.
78 is not a
78?
success. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a failure.
That's
Okay.
a little above 26.
So, yeah, a little bit. So while these conversations are going on and Harver is talking about this and that, and so are your clan leaders, like you kind of broach the subject with one of his followers, right? You're being a little quiet about it, right? Because you're trying to be subtle. So you just ask one of his followers, like, hey, you live in Aldature. What do you think about the Lunars that are there? Like, how are they? And this man, his name is Onstad, and he's older than Harver, but still an initiate, right? So not a light son or anything. And he tells you that he thinks that the Lunars aren't really that bad. Like, obviously, they're terrible in war and really dangerous, but the local lunar commander seems very reasonable to him, and they've so far been occupying with a very light touch.
Okay.
Now, how accurate his viewpoint is and how much it speaks to a zoomed out objective view of the situation, you can't say. But his personal opinion is that the Lunars really aren't that bad. Like, now that he's actually getting to know them and being around them and seeing what they're doing, they don't seem that bad.
Okay.
So make of that what you will.
That's the main thing. Because they're talking big picture stuff, I'm gonna not go into other adventures, the joys of getting our star married off and all that.
Cool. So is there anything else you want out of this situation, or
I'm just gonna pay attention to Harvard, but also watch my mother to get her read on it.
right, that makes sense. Like, I will watch someone better at this than I am and see what they think about the situation. Yeah, so your mother is very dignified and very well schooled in her expressions. So you are like, you can definitely talk to her later, but she's not giving anything away to anyone. Like, you're not getting a reading up or down, and you think probably no one else is either. She seems polite. She's poised. She knows how to handle herself in these sorts of conversations where you're having a hard time, even just watching her, you're having a hard time telling, is she probing for information? Does she have an angle, or is she just talking to people? And you're like trying to see it. So
No, that's fair. I just figured I'd check that. But on this
that makes
initial
sense.
one, I don't have
roll
much
for her, and
more.
that's cool. Yeah. So
Poker.
after, for sure, after a couple of hours of this, like, it gets kind of like, all right, we've pretty much caught up, and people start to like sort of politely wrap things up, and it's kind of trending into the late afternoon, early evening time, right? At which point Harver will excuse himself from his escort and ask you if you want to like show him around town.
Yes.
Cool. So
This is
he's
also
all like,
weird. I've not seen him before. We've been adventuring, and so for him to be at my home when I'm not adventure ready is just kind of odd,
right.
Yeah.
Is he as intriguing without the threat of imminent death?
Yeah. So, lead him around Fieldstone and show him the amazing fields we have going on, thanks to the almonds and last year's harvest and all that good stuff.
He seems duly concerned by all that. He puts on the serious face and goes, seriously. He's definitely concerned about it. He asks if there's anything you think he can do to help, though he notes that the resources of the temple are not infinite and also not all his to command.
There's some sort of hero quest that could be done. He's heard of some myth that could help.
Oh, he kind of cocks an eyebrow at you and says, oh.
I'm still learning the mysteries of Ronalda, but even to one newer at running fields and herds and all that may be one of our only hopes, or our best hope at least.
What would be he's curious, like, what would be the ritual you have in mind?
I don't know. Offhand, I just I may need to look into things, but I'm trying not to make it sound weird. Like with, there's Ronalda with the earth and Meliel in the sky, and didn't know if there's one there, if there's anything else of Barntar or whatnot, something that we could reenact just to strengthen our fields or strengthen our animals. If there's anything that Meliel or any of his brothers or sisters or cousins of the the sun and the sky could help with. I haven't asked the priestess, my grandmother, yet, because it's still new and all that.
Yeah, he looks more like thoughtful for a while, right? And he kind of he nods, you know. Says most of Yomelio's connections to the fields come from marriage rights.
Oh, that's not a bad.
You're like, my heart, the pitter patter. And then he I don't know how mortified you get, right? Like, but he kind of chuckles ruefully and mentions that while you are, of course, quite lovely, he can only marry other rune priestesses or god talkers and things. So while he'd like to help, he suspects that were something like that to happen between the two of you, it would be a few years down the line. Like not a timely adventure.
Arnaldo and I are not
yes,
there
that's
yet.
Right. Years away. Cool. Okay,
it's
so
great
he
when you're
manages
dating about it, but when it's right there in front of you.
Right. Like, so he manages to keep this from getting too awkward. Good for him. I mean, you can get as awkward as you want, but he's not making it worse.
No, there's the whole I like you, but hold up, let's figure this out.
Pump the brakes. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, so he's he probably can't help you out. You know, like he hopes things go well, but there's not a lot he can do. Let's see, roll that insight roll for me as he's chatting with you about your town and clan.
94.
94, huh? Whew, it's just not your day.
Nope.
Okay, so he asks a lot of questions. Like he seems interested in your history, interested in the location, interested in the people. And you can tell, like when he asks someone's name, he's the sort of person who locks it away in his mind forever, right? Like he never needs to meet someone twice to know who they are. So you definitely get that feeling that he's like paying attention to this place and locking things away in his head about it. Like, oh, that's this person. They're related to that person. Oh, you introduced me to this person. They live in that house over there. Like, you built your walls like this. You did this thing at that time. He's definitely like seems interested and is learning these things pretty quickly. What you get from that, I don't know. But that's what you notice, like I like that there's like this growing sense that I feel like you're having of like, why does everybody seem so scared of him? He's such a nice man. And for the record, he has been very nice. Like, he hasn't done anything untoward.
No, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Right.
He's an ogre.
He's an ogre. He's real strong and he eats people. No big deal. Everybody has their flaws, right? We can make it work. No, he seems very polite. He once it starts to get dark, he will like take his leave basically, and they'll be put up probably at the clan hall. So if there's anything you want to do before it gets dark, let me know. Otherwise, we're gonna come back to Aldershire for a little bit. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, he's very polite. He's interested in things, and again, he's good at drawing like lines to you as well. So it's, oh, this must be the place where you did this when you were a kid, or this is like the home of a friend of yours. Like he's interested, but he's not just interested. He seems like he's interested in these things as they link to you. It's all important to you, so he's making room for it. Whether or not that, indicates long-term compatibility, who could say?
These are my favorite flowers.
These ones right here. This specific flower is the best flower. Cool. All right, so he'll take his leave of you when it gets dark, which is very polite, and he'll, make plans to hang out, like to see you the next day as well. Cool. All right, so back at Aldershire, I feel like you're now desynced as people. Like your times aren't going to line up completely.
Between us,
but that's okay.
Two characters.
Yeah, you're probably ahead of Sionnarios a few days at least, or maybe a week, and that's okay. It's cool. I have, like Arachnosolara, I have a lot of power over time, so it's fine. Okay, so back in Aldershire, you have kind of met with the locals, right, about things, and at this point, you're sort of thinking, like, if you're serious about delivering eggs to the Lunars, who you've heard would be interested in them, just because you know that Lunars use wyvern riders sometimes, you probably at some point need to reach out to the Lunars and make sure that that's true and that they're interested. Okay, cool. So
I know it came up in the other conversation, but while we're talking to the Linker Mai and to the Shalon or Roy, I do want to get their assessment of hey, if I get these eggs, I hear the Lunars will pay good money, and kind of fill out what their thoughts are on them.
Yeah, that's sensible. Okay, so Kana, Serene, when you mentioned it to her, this is all pretty open. Hey, I've heard that the Lunars are interested in buying wyvern eggs because they train them to ride. When you mention that to her, she kind of, like a shadow kind of passes over her face, and she just flits across her expression, and she just says, the Lunars are only interested in them as weapons of war. They will train them for mounts to use in their armies.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Obviously,
I
she
kind of knew that,
disapproves
I
of
guess.
this.
I mean,
You know, like
I won't. Do I get any sense that her disapproval of it goes beyond her disapproval of anything weapon-like, martial-like, including me?
yeah, I mean, yeah, she's gonna have pretty straightforward opinions about violence is a fact of the world. It would be better if it wasn't. You know, so she's not super keen on like selling the Lunars things that they'll turn into weapons of war.
I thought of that myself. But I
Yeah.
also thought, well, by the time we get there, I'll be an experienced wyvern killer. So if I have to, I'll kill those too.
Right? Yeah. There you go. Sensible. Verispor is more politic about it. You're gonna need probably to roll human insight to really figure out what he thinks for real, because it gives you kind of a the Lunars would have an interest in them. You know, they have an interest in many things. Blah blah blah. Like,
I would try to actually just push a little bit to get what he actually thinks, really. I don't know if I can pull on anything for that. Do any of my passions or runes really feed into that?
it's difficult.
Okay.
Probably not. Not
All
really.
right, so
Like you're trying to get his
yeah,
opinions on
that's right.
foreigners.
Well, I'm actually rolling well tonight. It means I'm going to fumble and die in battle when I get there, but I rolled an 18, which is success.
Cool. Okay. So your impression of him is that Varispor does not really like the Lunars, but he's aware that they hold like all of the cards right now. So his actual opinion, you think, is that he would prefer it if you didn't sell the Lunars anything, but he's not going to come out and say that
Yep.
out loud
Right.
because he doesn't,
That
you
makes
think,
sense.
want it to get back to the Lunars that he was advocating against them.
That's fair. That's kind of what I was assuming, but I thought, well, that confirms it.
Right.
I'm
So yeah,
actually
they're both
having
against
conflict
it, but
about
for
that.
different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Sean Arrow would also disapprove of you getting a unicorn because you would use it to go on violent adventures. So, you know, whatever. Like,
She and I are just going to have some basic disagreement with the world.
yes, you have very different philosophies in life. It's funny because she probably actually likes unicorns because they're associated with purity and healing. Their
Yep.
horns can like cure wounds and dispel poisons and disease. So she likes unicorns. She just knows that you'll ride it into battle. So maybe you shouldn't have it.
Fair enough. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So they're both against it, like I said, for different reasons.
Now, I also have informed Corum and Yenor and Elendor of kind of what we're trying to seek information here while being, somewhat discreet about it. So if at any point you want to do a roll for any of them and see if any of them come up with anything I don't, that would be fine.
Absolutely.
If you don't, that's fine. And find out whether
So
I should.
you're rapidly discovering that if Corum is not at the library or in attendance of another adult, he will like happily go to the bar to seek out rumors. But what he actually does is like sing and drink and dance. So he doesn't come up with much. Like he's having
That's
a good
fine. It's
time.
his first time
being
in
a young
town.
man in the big city.
As long as he's not getting himself into serious trouble, I don't care.
He's not. He's got you. So your impression of him is he's youthful. He is definitely an Orlanthe, which comes with certain drawbacks, right? He's very emotional and all that stuff. And he's very like eager to prove himself, but you think he probably has a solid head on his shoulders. Just young.
Yeah.
And
That's
you're
all
like
right.
a whole year older, so like he just seems like a tiny child to you.
Well, we've actually been out and done things outside of the clan that most of the adults have never done. So
true. Yeah. So so he doesn't do too hot.
that's all right.
Kind of see what
I brought him to town to see town.
Yeah, Elendor doesn't come up with much, but it's just because there's just not much that they've been able to uncover. Like they haven't had fruitful conversations. They've been studious, they've also spent a fair amount of time on helping Mardina and stuff, and watching Corum. So not
Fair enough.
super
That's why
productive
we
on
brought
that
them all
front.
to town.
Right.
Part of me bringing all the
But
rest of them to town was to watch each other, so I didn't have to waste my time.
exactly.
So does Sionnarios
But
pay off, or does he end up in prison?
you say that like those are different things, but no. Yonor certainly is not very visible to you for much of this excursion. And you're never really sure what he's doing. And he certainly does come back a time or two with a black eye or some bruises. He's also managed to make money on this expedition. You're not sure how, and you're not going to ask probably. But he does know. How do I want to phrase this? What is there something
I
you're
don't
looking
know.
for, or is there just general information?
No.
Well, I don't want to be
Just
like,
general
he just
information.
here's a random thing. But if that's what you want, then that's what. Okay, so one thing he knows for sure, and he tells you
Yeah.
this over like he's drinking. You might not be. He's like lounge back at your clan hall, your tribal hall, like playing his barbiton and like drinking, and like in between little bits of music and stuff, he kind of like relays to you sort of indolently that in his opinion, it sure seems like there's not a lot of unity in the streets these days, and a lot of those fault lines. Like, it's interesting to him that a lot of times it does seem like no matter how you drop something and it breaks, the lunar temple, like the lunar garrison and the Sun Dome temple, always end up on the same side of that line, if that makes sense.
So, yeah, the Sun Dome and Lunars are friends, or at least.
It seems that way to him.
But not everybody else is.
But not everybody else is. And some of that you would expect, right? Like the Orlanthi are notoriously sore losers. Yeah. So you're not surprised that there's some
really
rest
like
in the streets.
Sun Domers. Yeah.
Right. But there's definitely like his opinion is that different chunks of the city have kind of come to different conclusions about the Lunars, but it does seem like the Sun Dome and the Lunars are always pretty much on the same side of anything when it comes up.
Yeah, they're the two big power bases really here at this point.
So food for thought, for sure.
Yeah. I think I still need to go make my connection though with the Lunars, even though it might be a bad idea to sell it to them. Yep. So I'm going to go do it and get my own, trust my own assessment, no matter how bad that is.
You've collected information from as many sources as you reasonably can, and now you have to go and check it out yourself. Yep. That's reasonable, right? You've been careful and diligent. Okay, so you'll go to the you'll approach the lunar garrison. It has a lunar temple like kind of built into it. And there's definitely places for the public to reach to it. There's also a Seven Mothers temple, like a smaller one, in the temple way, where all the temples are in the city. That one's more of a Tilo Nori oriented like outreach temple. This one's more for serving the soldiers. There is a place where you can approach publicly though and petition, and you'll be met by one of their we're going to call him a lieutenant. That's not probably his actual title in any of the languages he speaks, and it's not a word that you would use either, but that's what we're going to go with. So he would meet you. He's dressed like you would consider him a Thane, basically. He's a professional soldier with some leadership qualities. He's wearing medium armor, some textile, some metal, carrying a medium shield. He's got a crescent sword. And this is fairly typical of garrison forces, right? Like this heavy skirmisher look is pretty common for lunar garrisons because it has a lot of flexibility and it's not so bogged down that it can't like move around the streets and stuff or even patrol outside the city when necessary. But he meets you and he's kind of the liaison to the public. So he'll ask you what your business is with the garrison. Like why are you here, basically?
I have a quest I'm about to go on, and I have if it's successful, I would have a possible proposition for the trade with the garrison. Probably I don't know if it'd be the commander or the quartermaster, who I would be talking to, but somebody in charge. And I would like to meet them first and discuss a little bit about the options of this. I'm not going to go into
Okay.
details.
When you
with
say the
this
word
guy, though.
quest, he smiles at you so indulgently, like that it just is like annoying immediately. He's a Tarshite like you,
Yeah.
right? But you
Yep.
you can see, and he's not trying to hide it, that the words like friggin' hillbilly pop up in his mind as soon as you say like I'm on a quest, and he's just like right, like so. But he does listen to what you have to say, and he recommends you. He says, I will take you to meet um the commander's adjutant,
Yeah.
Bendrath Dorstar. Dorstar,
Okay,
sorry.
right. Nick.
He will talk to you about that. He'll figure out, what it looks like. So he takes you into the actual garrison, like one of the more finished parts. There's some rooms in here. And you meet another lunar. This lunar is not a Tarshite. He looks foreign to your eyes, and he
What?
meets with you. He
Okay.
speaks Tarshite, so he can talk to you, but it's accented. So he hails you, and the lieutenant makes his introductions. Basically says, "This is, Kathea of such and such clan, like who has a proposal that I thought you'd want to hear." And then so he introduces you the adjutant. This is the adjutant to the commander of the garrison. Be respectful, but speak your piece.
Yep. Okay. Well, I will basically tell him. I'm gonna actually ask him if he's heard about southern parts of the Vandros here, isn't it? Yeah. Or
Ventaros,
Vantaros. Yeah, Vantaros.
Yeah.
It's heard about the been an unusual amount of loss of livestock throughout the Vantaros lands, and I have a feeling that I know what's doing it. So I thought about heading off to dispatch it, but thought the garrison here might be interested in the offspring, or I've heard that rumor.
The man in front of you, right? He's not wearing armor or anything. He has again like a crescent shaped sword like strapped to his side. And he's paying attention to you. Like you can tell he's thinking about what you're saying. He's giving you like his attention, and he has like an intent look, and he says, "Why would we be interested in their offspring?"
Well, I had heard the rumor that sometimes you will train that the lunar. I'd heard the that sometimes lunars would take and train wyverns for reconnaissance use. And my understanding is that this is most likely a nest of wyverns. I was curious if that was true, and if this would be a place that if I found those, I could profit from those eggs, assuming they have eggs.
Right. When you once you start talking about like wyverns, like he was paying attention to you, but his like focus on you sharpens. He gets more intent and focused on you. And then once you kind of finish, he says, "Okay, because if you think you can defeat them and bring the eggs here, they would be worth a small fortune." Now, he says the Empire is not afraid of rewarding quite generously loyal service to it, and bringing these eggs to us certainly would be a service.
Okay. I'm going to. I'll admit I'm not great at being the super discreet sort, but I will do my best to not just blurt out what would they be worth, but ask if he could give me some indication of the range of value they would see, and if that would be something they would be paying, how they would be paying it out. Because I said, most of the people in these lands can't pay a small fortune out, but the Lunar Empire is rich. You are made of money.
He thinks about it. He gives it some actual thought. Like he pulls out a couple sheets of like not really paper, but like papyrus or something, and he looks at them. And you can't read, so you're not really able to get much out of what he's looking at. It'd be in Nuclorian anyway, so you're unlikely to be able to get it regardless. But you see him kind of like mouthing like silently to himself some numbers, you can tell. And he says it would depend on how many there are. A larger clutch is worth more, but he says something in the vicinity of a couple thousand lunars per egg. These are serious assets.
That's what I'm just trying to make sure I have my connections all in place before we head off and do this.
Right.
And
Because
you'll be
no, it would
hearing
be
back
good to
from me if
know
we're
so that we can
successful.
prepare.
You will be hearing back from me if we're successful, and well, I guess you won't be if we're not.
He gives you like the one-sided nod and says, "Fair enough." Says it's good that you mentioned it to me so that I can prepare facilities to receive them.
Actually, if he knows anything at all, or they have any information that I could use to ensure the safety of the eggs, I would
He
really
just keep them
appreciate
warm.
that. Yeah,
He
pretty
says
much
keep
what we
them
already
warm.
got.
Yeah, like otherwise no. He says I have never. And he tells you honest. He's like I have never had wyverns under my command before. I'll have to send for specialists in order to train them, but I can certainly house them until that happens.
I appreciate your time.
Cool. Oh yeah, he nods and
We'll have
says,
to
"Good
decide
then.
later whether we
I hope
want
to
to
see
do
you
this
soon."
or not.
Well,
Yes.
cool. And then the lieutenant will escort you back out after that. So something to think about, Kathea. Do you want the money or do you want goods? Like you may like
I would
if your intention
probably
is to help your, we're definitely lagging.
my intent. Yeah, I have it.
Yeah,
I would want. I'd probably take goods primarily, and I wouldn't mind getting a little extra cash. But one of the things I would like to do out of this, and this is something the Lunars could probably more readily help, anyways, is to secure grain and livestock with part of that to bring back to our clan to help out with the expected bad year.
right.
And
So
frankly, for
mhm,
that matter, personally, I would be happy to get if I could get some goods for myself out of it, whether I'm up to the level of getting some sort of magic item out of them, or like a bigger stone, or I am metal armor or something.
okay. All right, cool.
I don't really
So
need a bunch of cash.
right. And that was what I was curious about because so for the record, it the average free family, like a person, would make about 60 lunars a year in terms of like how you value their harvest.
Right.
And most of that would be food. Like probably
Right.
40 lunars a year to feed like a person, basically. Um, and so, 4,000 lunars is about 100 people. 8,000 lunars would be about 200 people. And that's a year's worth of food. For like 8,000 lunars would be like a year's worth of food for a couple hundred people, which
So,
is, like a fifth of your clan.
so if I am successful in this, well, if I'm not,
Mhm.
we may be making new characters anyways. But if I am successful in this with the eggs and all, I would think I would like, ideally for myself, being a little bit of a self-centered PC sort, we would walk away
Sure.
with about half of that value being aimed at the NPC adventuring group, and the other half going back to the clan, which seems fair.
Okay. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. That's cool.
And probably
Um,
and 10% of everything going back to our respective temples too. But that's kind of part of the clan, especially for Sionnarios.
right. No, that makes sense. Cool.
So,
So
I'm
yeah,
not forgetting. I was going to say, I'm not forgetting that Sionnarios is part of this too, and would deserve to have an equal share. Well, almost, maybe.
thumbs up. Right.
And
That's
all
cool.
the NPCs we take along with us should get pretty sizable shares. I mean, we're not asking an inconsequential thing out of them.
I didn't catch that last bit.
I said I would like to give all of the NPCs that go with us a goodly share too, because we're not asking an inconsequential risk for them.
Right.
I mean,
No, that makes perfect sense.
this is a pretty deadly thing we're going on.
For sure. Okay, so I'll let you think about the numbers a little bit, and to emphasize, this is like a lot of money. Like if it
Yeah.
works out, it's a lot of money. For the record, Sionnarios' lifestyle costs living as a noble for a year are 200 lunars.
Right.
Like
No,
you're
I know
talking
we're going for a lot. I want most of it to be like
Right.
big wagons of preserved lunar food stuff and or more animals for us.
Right. No, I get you. All right, so back at Fieldstone, the next day, we're gonna at least set up the next scene scenarios before we
Okay.
start talking about closing it down. Sorry, I, I scared myself. I hadn't touched my mouse for too long, and my screen shut off. Anyways, and I was like, oh no, but we're fine. So the next day, you more or less have the day to spend with Harver. You will be attended during this day by at least one, like his herald or assistant. Like that guy will always be there too. And if you want, you can have someone go with you, like from the clan. You don't have to.
Mhm.
Orlanthe are not nearly as prudish as Victorians and stuff.
No, I might actually have my one Carl if she's willing. They still don't fully like me, but maybe trust her with that and see what happens.
Okay, cool. Which one is this?
Pull my handy dandy binder. I think Caldera.
So this is not a right now request, but could you put these people up on the wiki?
Yeah, I
At some
can
point?
remind myself I need to do that.
No, you're good. I could have done it too, and I didn't. Cool. All right.
You wanna put 'em
So yeah, Caldera.
On the character sheet or on the main page?
Go ahead.
Do we put them on the character sheet or the main page?
Your character sheet is fine, and it doesn't have to
Okay.
be right this moment. Just sometime.
Nope.
And then, all right. So yeah, she'll go. I mean, it sounds fun, right? Like, how bad could it be? Like, walk around. It's nice out. It's better than working. So she'll go with you. So one thing that is Harvard's interested in, like, seeing the Tula. Like, that's kind of an obvious, like, hey, we looked around the town. Let's go look around the whole place, right? Like, which offers you like some, privacy because you're often going to be like just like riding around, or walking around, so you'll be kind of away from people, more secluded, but also like traveling around, so it's not like you're just like hiding away in a field somewhere all day. Is that
He
something
is
that
an
would
ogre.
interest you?
Yes.
Son ogre. Like,
Yes, it would.
all right, cool. And then, I mean, he's interested in seeing the hall that you captured as well at some point, but that is your house, so he's not like asking to go see it. Like it's where you live.
We can swing by there.
Makes sense. Okay, so you'll spend the day riding around basically. Here's the stream. It goes to this place. Here's, my neighbor's farm. Here's where Kathea lives sometimes. Here's, like stuff like that. Like different places. Here are shrines to different local spirits and that sort of thing. And you'll meet people too. Like some of this is just being seen, right? Like, and that's something. How I should have asked this before. How much are you like, let's be seen together? Like, to what degree is that something that's appealing to you?
Yes, a bit. Hopefully it doesn't backfire. But yes. Oh yeah, this is Harvard. He's here to see me.
Right. Yeah, you're like, yeah, my milkshake brings the boys to the yard.
If I was still
Cool.
Marangor, I
Okay.
could say my earthquake brings all the boys to the yard.
Right? Like, but you left that behind.
But I can't.
And all of the potential.
I did.
Oh well. Cool. Okay, so I think we'll leave your two's like intriguing for next session, right? So like the two of you riding around town and stuff for riding around the Tula for next session, and then we'll rejoin your characters after that. So cool. Any what do you guys want to do next session? Are we gonna move towards like planning and then wyvern hunting? Is that kind of the
I think so. That's what I was thinking.
Kathea? Is that where you're at as well? Do we lose Kathea?
Oops, sorry. No, I'm here.
No,
I
you're
turned my mic down when I wasn't actively involved, and I actually talked a bunch there, and then I realized you didn't hear me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't have anything to do in town specific. If unless there's something that came up that I don't know about right now. Otherwise, we could head back to our lands, and I'm ready for the wyvern hunt. I'd like to secure a cart and some, crates and stuff, so we can get some pack up anything.
Mhm.
Hopefully we can carry back all the important stuff with us, since we don't want to put those on our horses. Be too much. So if we have something like that we can leave somewhere, Or on my way
Okay.
back, I might go south the river and see if one of the clans in that area would have somebody be interested loaning us that stuff when we get there.
All right.
We
Yeah,
could do it
that sounds
all off
reasonable.
screen.
Okay.
It doesn't need to be front and center, just basic. But yeah, I'm ready for a wyvern hunt. I'm ready to go see if this works out or if don't. I will
Have to
note,
start a new podcast.
if I get enough if I get enough indication not to go for the lunars, I had thought about returning to dwarf mine because those might be something the dwarf would be interested in selling, trading for.
That is definitely an alternative that I had not considered.
I
Yeah.
was thinking of it tonight while everybody was talking about that. So next time before we head there, Sionnarios, we should probably discuss a little bit about the politics of Aldicher and the local area and decide where make an actual conscious decision about where we want to be on everything. I don't know that Kathea has a strong opinion right now.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
interesting for sure. So next session
So
we'll do.
assume I told you everything.
Okay, so next session we will wrap Harvard's visit, which will take a while. It's not 10 minutes probably, but probably not more than half an hour. We will reunite the characters. We'll do the planning and probably the initial push towards the wyverns, if not the actual combat. I don't know how far we'll get. So, all right, no, that sounds good. Let's go and wrap it there then, and we will, I guess, meet up in the next episode.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, see you then.